Check in now at Magnolia Field at Baylor Ballpark, not on the field, in the coaches' offices. Welcome in Baylor assistant coach Zach Dillon, one of Baylor baseball's all-time greats, now on Mitch Thompson's staff. And Zach, thanks for your time this morning. Welcome to you. And I said earlier, it's always nice to come home off a win, isn't it? To get the win on.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt that that travel day, if you can get a W on the way home, it sure feels a lot better than the other way.
Yeah, absolutely. First two tough games, Friday and Saturday. The offense, you had trouble getting the offense going those first two games. As you look back on it, what was that?
Yeah, Nathan Taylor on Friday night's one of the most established veteran starting pitchers in the league, and he was really good. I thought our at-bats, really 6 of the 9 guys competed really well Friday night against him. I thought we struggled at the top of the order. Travis obviously didn't have his best weekend. And a lot of what we're going to do from a run scoring standpoint is dictated by a few of those veteran guys really being themselves and really being at their best. And he didn't have his best Friday or Saturday for sure. We'll get him going again this week. And Saturday, I thought their guy really pitched, the best he's thrown all year. And our approach wasn't very good. I thought Friday carried over into Saturday, which you shouldn't let happen. And the guys were trying to impose their will on the game and really swinging out of the zone too much and chasing and getting out front early on a guy that the game is screaming that we need to stay back and let the ball travel and make good swing decisions. And we weren't able to do that. All that said, the response Sunday was really, really good, and it was a lineup of guys determined to walk out of there with a win. 4 freshmen in the lineup. We're learning something new every day, and those guys did a great job just being resilient and hanging in there. Got another great outing out of Ethan Calder and Caleb Bunch, and RJ Rue came in and did their thing, and we were able to walk out of there with a win against, the record wouldn't state it, the RPI does, against a really good Cincinnati club.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is it says a lot about you guys, coaches and the team, to not throw in the towel there and come out and play really well and then come home with a win. That says a lot about you guys.
Well, the thing about our game is every game matters, and you play 4 of them a week, and they all matter, and they all matter equally. So, it's really a game of not letting your emotions dictate your behavior and your feeling and your actions and how you compete and how competitive you are. And it's really a internal struggle and sometimes an emotional battle of making sure we stay positive, making sure we stay focused pitch to pitch and stay in the present moment. And we were certainly able to do that this weekend.
3-3 game to the 9th, and the bats kind of came alive, didn't they? In the 9th inning, you guys batted around, and that's where you got the 5 runs that were the difference yesterday.
Yeah, we really got to their back end leverage guy, and I don't think they were expecting it, but we really took some good at bats, and that really, throughout the course of the game, we took good at bats, but the door cracked in the 9th, and we were able to scratch a big inning across and come away with the win.
Thought something was going to happen in the 8th inning, and it was a strange play yesterday. Tell everybody what all was going on in that 8th inning. Line drive, drop, no catch, double play, not a double play. What all was going on there?
Yeah, it's actually a really good baseball play on both sides. Brighton Clements hits a line drive up the middle. We're first and second, 1 out. Shortstop either intentionally drops it, and if he does, it's which is against the rules, but he did it in a way where it was hard to tell if he intentionally dropped it or not. They flip the ball to second base, get the force out. They throw it to third base, and the third baseman's standing on the bag. And at that point, the third base umpire made the out call, and it wasn't a force out after they recorded the out at second base. So I believe that's why they put us back at first and second. I'm not sure. Coach Thompson did a great job going out there and just creating a conversation that would allow the inning to go on. And then Ty Johnson has a good at bat, infield single, and we just weren't able to scratch it in the 8th. But the 9th inning, ninth inning came out, and we're able to hang a big number on them with a bunch of really good at bats in a row and strung them together. And that's the type of offense we are, and that's what I keep trying to impress upon them. We're not going to hit for a high average, or we haven't to this point. We've really got three guys in the lineup, four at times with some power that can hurt you, but we do have a bunch of athleticism and a bunch of guys that are capable if they stay within their approach and they swing at the right pitches and they do it with the right directional thoughts.
Yeah. I say this a lot. When you go to a baseball game, you might see something you've never seen before, and you've seen a lot more baseball than I have. But isn't that the case? I mean, like that play yesterday. Who knows if you've ever seen that before?
That you have, and you have seen it. It doesn't happen often. It was a really heady play by their shortstop, and our base runners are doing what they're supposed to do and not get doubled off. But if the ball does drop, it creates an issue, and it creates what it created. So, fortunately, I think he probably did intentionally drop it, which would put us first and second with two outs, and by the rule, and we were able to keep playing that inning. But it created some controversy and a little stir in their dugout, which I think maybe led to a good ninth inning for us. You never know.
Yeah, absolutely. How about Pearson Reebok? You got him back in the infield, back at second base. Nice to the finger issue, had him in left field for a while, but he's back at second base. That's good to get to that point, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the really good part is he took his two best swings of the year yesterday. So we're hoping that's a trend that continues. We've been fighting and working through some things all year long, and he finally got to the point where the ball's jumping off his bat a little bit, and two doubles to left field yesterday, which is a really good sign for him and for our club. We need him to go, and it looks like he's got a little bit of that in his eye right now that it's time. I gotta get this figured out. So, a lot of times you gotta hit the bottom to start your way back up, and I think he had finally hit it. So here we go.
All right, so this weekend also is the midpoint of the conference schedule, 15 games in, 15 games to go. It's kind of like the turn in golf, the front nine and the back nine. But you're 8-7 at this point, tied for, I think, 5th place in the league standings. Do you stop and assess where you are at right now, or is it just keep plowing forward and move on to the games coming up this week?
Well, the biggest piece to all of it is, we've evaluated our club for a pretty good sample size now. So I think, we're in a position where we've settled in on the mound a little bit. I think there's a formula there. The formula doesn't always go to plan, but there is a formula and a thought process on how we need to attack these last, I think we got 19 left before the tournament. And so we're close there, and we're obviously kind of starting to settle into a lineup. We'll have to see. Cade Dotson got banged up over the weekend, so we'll see where he's at. But Brighton Clements, has been steady all year and been able to play multiple positions in the infield and giving us great at bats. So, whatever way you slice it, I think we've got a really good idea of where our club's at. And now it's time to really take off and get this thing rolling over the last 5 weeks here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that begins with UTSA tomorrow night in Waco, and then TCU comes in. That's a big series coming up this weekend.
Yeah, huge weekend at the Baylor ballpark, huge week at the Baylor ballpark, and we could sure use all the Baylor Bears and Central Texas baseball fans in the stadium, in the ballpark, than we could get. The energy that our guys draw from, people being in the seats is a big deal, and we could use all the help we could get.
All right, UTSA, the Jim Blair Classic comes up tomorrow night. We look forward to that. And TCU, what's going on at TCU? I think they're maybe tied with you, right, in the league standings at this point.
Yeah, I think we're all jumbled up there pretty close. I haven't looked at it this morning yet, but either way, TCU has a really talented club. They've dealt with some injuries on the mound that they've been trying to figure out. And we're going to get their best. I can guarantee you that. So we're going to have to show up ready to play and stay within ourselves and do a really good job of just competing one day at a time, moving forward. I mean, that's the game. You start thinking about things a month from now, and you get yourself in trouble. So it's really about what can we do today to prepare for tomorrow, and to play a really really good UTSA team that's going to come in here hungry and ready to get another win. And we're gonna have to match that competitiveness, and then have 2 really good days of practice preparing for TCU, and getting our scouting stuff right, to make sure that we give ourselves the best opportunity to win that series.
Very cool. Big week ahead. Hey, man, thanks for your time. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you out there tomorrow night.